Dordrecht, a unique city where water plays a major role. My name is Meerte, and together with Betty, I will guide you through a very special part of Dordrecht, the start. And that is where we are now. And as you can see, it's being redeveloped. We are working on projects in which water and nature come together in urban development. And this should prepare Dordrecht for a climate-resilient future. In the European project on climate adaptation, C5a, we develop an approach to do this.
In this tour we show some of these projects. These projects strengthen nature around the city and help to increase water safety and livability. For example, by creating room for the river and building climate-proof infrastructure.
This is important in the fight against climate change and sea level rise. Berry, can you tell us, why are we in Dordrecht?
The city of Dordrecht is closely connected to nature, and its inhabitants are used to living with water for many centuries. It is in their cultural memory for over 600 years. In 1421, on St. Elizabeth's Day, the dikes of the former polder Grote Waard were breached. This flooded the city of Dordrecht and its surroundings. An enormous flood. The city wall of Dordrecht was ultimately the salvation for many of its inhabitants. Dordrecht was thus seen as the ark in which its inhabitants were safe. In a city surrounded by water, the start is extremely important. It is the ideal shelter location as it is 5 meters above sea level and thus resistant to flooding. That's why we want to design the start as a new and safe ark in Dordrecht.
One of the studies focuses on evacuation routes. This is an important precondition for setting up the start as a shelter. At the moment, the start is only accessible via one large bridge. More than 100,000 people live in the flood-prone area of the city of Dordrecht. But bridges like these can only evacuate 20,000 people during a storm at sea. And that's why we are looking for solutions to create extra evacuation options. To this end, climate-proof infrastructure and accessibility are essential factors. In the event of a flood, it is also important that everyone has adequate amenities. That is why this area must become self-sufficient. For example, in the field of energy. This can be done by setting energy requirements for new buildings, or by investing in sustainable solutions, such as using heat from waste, wastewater and surface water. And you can find it all here on the start.
The redevelopment of the start has already started at Stadswerve. Here we build flood-proof and make full use of the quality of water. Some houses are even built on top of the water, so you can feel the tide. The floating houses move when the water rises, so they are safe against flooding. There is a drinking water reservoir between the Biesbos and the start. We think the reservoir is larger than needed, so we want to make more space for water and nature. We investigate which opportunities a shrinking reservoir offers. We are thinking of floating houses on a larger scale and in combination with delta nature. The start is inextricably linked to the river Wantij. We want to design this river as a freshwater tidal park. In this way, we make room for recreation and exercise. At the tidal park, the water rises and falls almost a meter twice a day. Visitors can really experience the tide. Tidal parks naturally provide cooling during hot summers and thus adapt to a changing climate, because we will have to get used to hotter summers in the Netherlands. Good for nature and attractive to people.
We want to implement this on a larger scale in the Biesbos. The Biesbos is an extension of the Staart and the Wantij next to the city of Dordrecht. It is a unique nature reserve, the only tidal freshwater area in Europe. This does mean that the area is sometimes inaccessible, like today, and that is why we are taking a boat. This unique nature reserve is under pressure of climate change and sea level rise. So how do we make this area future-proof? In addition, we are assessing the possibilities of bringing nature from the Biesbos and urban life of Dordrecht closer together.
Nature and water around the city offer plentiful opportunities for a climate-proof and livable environment. In Dordrecht, we want to use nature and water as a leverage for urban development. That's what we strive towards in the C5a project.
In that way, we will be ready for the future.